right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Two Ponds Croft and another video from the Randy Man Can. We just earlier on the last video we finished fixing doing some repairs on the John Deere 660 hay rake slash 640, and I got some work to do on my Hesston I just purchased before the season started, and this is a new piece of equipment for me, but we got one cutting in, and you'll notice if you look down here, we lost a bearing right here on this shaft. It locked up. So what it's supposed to look like is this, okay? But I've already taken it apart. As you can see, I made a couple of nicks in my shaft here, and so we're gonna put this back together, and maybe you'll see some of the pieces. Maybe it'll benefit you, maybe it won't. If not, somebody out there has one of these, and if you do and you're making repairs or you have questions, or let me know who you are, we can share the experience. But I've got some emery cloth that I picked up. So we're gonna kind of just go over this little shaft, make sure that that bearing is gonna go on. It didn't actually, thankfully, because of the way that the bearings are made, it's really difficult for them to spin on this shaft. It'll spin in this housing right here and mess with that, but it really is difficult. It's the way that the bearing is designed. It's kind of offset, and it kind of locks it in place. So I thought I'd just make sure we could get this on. If I can't get this on, you're going to see me stopping the video to curse at it. So I hope it doesn't happen. I got my trusty the Jet Man doing the video for me. Thank you, Jet. He's doing really good. Good footage he's taking, so y'all can see. Feel pretty good about that. I think the bearing's gonna slide on pretty easy. So let's try to see what happens here. I'm gonna spray it down with some lube just to make sure, because I want everything going on there nice and smooth. Wipe it down. Feels like it's gonna go on okay. And yeah, I know I nicked it. I didn't want to, but you know, trying to get that bearing off that was seized on there, it was quite tricky. But anyway, it's a pretty thick shaft. So all right, so basically how this works is, first thing we have to do is get these bolts back in here rounded. They won't fall off on you. So I guess probably the hardest thing I'm thinking is I'm gonna have to get these locked in here. So we're gonna see if we can get these in there. This is the plate. You got two plates that will sandwich this bearing in here, and they're tapered. There's a bevel to them, so if you look at them, the bearing's gonna get locked in here. That way it can't go in or out. So I guess the trick is I've got to get this in there and hold these in place somehow while I do this. I may need one of Jet's hands. Maybe not. I might. It's gonna be a little tricky, but that's going to be the tricky one right there. The rest look like they're going to stay okay. Let's see if we can. But if I had a magnet. Okay, there's that one. There's that one. Key is to not let any of them drop. One more. Uh-oh, don't fall. Don't come out. Stay put. Look at that. Okay. A little tricky, but not impossible. Okay. Now they once you get this plate in, they're gonna kinda stay there. Now, hopefully they'll stay. What I could do is just put a little nut on it to hold it while we're working on it. That might just while we're trying to get this bearing, I'm gonna put that nut on there, and that's gonna hold everything in place. Okay, now it's time for the bearing. I actually found this bearing. I wish I'd have brought the box, but look at the name of this. This was actually the bearing that was originally used, and I found new old stock on, I don't know, eBay or Amazon, one or two. But notice how it's offset. So it's a little thicker here on the right. This is the sleeve that locks it in, and it's thinner down here. And all I can guess is that's to keep this thing from spinning, because it goes over top of it. If you notice, it's going to keep that bearing. If this is locked, then the bearing can't spin. It won't allow it to spin. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. I was trying to figure out for the longest time, like, what is this about? So we're going to go ahead and, looks like it's going to go on. I got me a little a rubber mallet. This to lock on yet. Okay, look, it's gonna, looks like it's, oh yeah, now I've gotta get this back. Okay, as you can see, what I've got to do is I've got to try to push this thing down, which might be a little challenging. Look at there. Okay, so it's going to go in. Now once it gets in, okay. Ouch, I just got myself a little boo-boo right there. I'm used to that, I'm a mechanic. Alright. Now, here's the other thing that's, okay, make sure we get these out. I don't want any issues with these. Oh, I may use this to even help me kind of make sure I get it pulled out the way I want it. See, I want to, there we go, get it nice. Okay, I like to see how I got it. I can get it out. Let's see, let's pull this one. Let's do the same thing with it. Just gotta be patient. See, all the squares are out. Let's try to see if we can get this one now. Let's see if we can just there we go. All right, so that's a pretty important part of this, because if not, you could have those squares not coming through the hole. So I think you'll know, because when you're done tightening, you're going to see the same amount of bolts sticking out of all of them. If you got one that's barely not coming out, you're going to think, oh man, I got a problem there. So now when I took these apart, there is these little washers that go in between here. So I'm going to for sure put them back in to get the spacing correct. All right, now we're doing good. Everything's looking really good. We're gonna put this other plate on the outside, and so it's looking good, guys. I'm real pleased with it so far. Never worked on a baler. In fact, I've never even ran a baler until a couple months ago, and a little learning curve. But certainly a lot of fun. Now, what did I do with my other nut? The little ball bearings down here from the last one. Okay. Well, I know I have that other nut somewhere. Oh, there it is. I had it in the end of the socket so I could make sure I had the right socket. Duh. Alright, so now it is time don't you tighten these bad boys up? And that was my retainer that fell. All right, so as you can see, to know that we're pretty good, all the studs are sticking out evenly, so that's a good sign. So now, we gotta get this on there. We are almost done, folks. Appreciate you being patient with us. Now you gotta get this around. It goes on there, and then you're gonna get it, you feel it's not gonna keep spinning, and again, it's pretty genius what they I guess, I don't know, but when I lock this, you see that other bearing can't spin. So got my Allen head. It's just a little Allen head key, and make sure I got it all the way back. And I think it'd be safe to say I do, because it looks just like the other one. And I'm gonna get this tight, and then it is done. But you know, I just love this Enforce. I'm not promoting the product, but I use this at my shop, and I like to keep this stuff from rusting. So yeah, it's gonna collect straw and dust, but that is a sealed bearing that's in there. But you know, everything needs to be lubricated. So that is it. That is, the bearing has been successfully replaced, and this little darling is ready to go back to work. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this was somewhat helpful. If you have any questions on a Hesston 540, I don't know much, but I'm learning every day. So message me. I'll be glad to help you. This is Randy Man. The Randy Man Can, over and out.